Hi, welcome to the GIGA Program pre-entrance session. First of all, thank you for applying to the GIGA Program. Also, congratulations on your successful application. I'm Tatsuya Hagino, and I'm a professor of the Faculty of Environment Information Studies. I'm chairing today's session. And we have actually several faculties together and students. And let them introduce yourself. Yes.
Hi everyone and congratulations. My name is Chi and I am Vietnamese. And I am right now I'm teaching risk and human security at the Faculty of Policy Management. And for your information, I am not the first foreign students here at Keio, but I was among the first foreign students at the international program at Keio. Hi.
I'm Professor Rod Van Meter of the Faculty of Environment and Information Studies, and my research area is in quantum computing, and I teach a lot of classes in computing, and also this year I'm actually teaching a class for first-year students in linear algebra.
Okay, and we have some students. Yes, please.
Hi guys, my name is Momoy Kubota. I'm a third-year GIGA student in the Faculty of Policy Management. A little bit about myself. I'm fully Japanese, but I also lived half of my life overseas, specifically in the US, Korea, and also Singapore. So I hope to give you some advice as from the perspective of a returning student.
I would like to welcome and congratulate all incoming students. I am from the US. My name is Bradley Suzuki. I am a third-year student, GIGA student in the Faculty of Environment and Information Studies.
Hello everyone, I'm Nurul Fadila. I'm a second-year student from Faculty of Environment and Information Studies. I'm Indonesian, but I've lived in the UK.
So, and today's session is somehow divided into four sessions, and first about before enrolling thing and at SSC, and before and after graduation, the Q&A. And let's start with the before enrolling. And now see, yes, Bamita Sensei, yeah.
So let's talk to the students and find out from them what was really the deciding factor for them in choosing among their set of options. Why did you actually decide to come to SFC? Momoy, why don't we start with you?
I guess like the biggest reason I wanted to come to SFC out of all the options I had is because in SFC you can choose classes that are taught also in English but also in Japanese. So I love that I had that option. Also because many universities are in the city center, but I kind of enjoy that this campus is kind of in the rural area, not too busy and kind of small. Yeah.
Good, thanks. Nurul, why don't we ask you? How did you decide from among the options you had?
I think many Keio students would agree with me on this, that GIGA program especially offers huge variety of classes. So then I didn't know what I want to do. So then it just gives me an option just to discover what I want to do still.
Good, thanks. All right, shall we go on?
Sure, yes. Next is about before coming to Japan. There are a lot of things you may prepare. So, Bamita Sensei, can you explain some of them?
So, for those of you who are coming to Japan, there are three main items that are sort of the iron triangle. You have to figure out how to get a bank account, you have to get a cell phone, and you have to get an apartment or a place to live. And you can't get a bank account unless you have a phone number and an address, and you can't get a phone unless you have a bank account, and you can't get an apartment unless you have a bank account. So there's this triangle, the iron triangle of things. Fortunately, our staff has figured out how to solve that particular problem. And so there's information in the online documents that are available to you, and any place you have trouble with those particular things, the office can also help. There's a lot of information that's available in this brand new book, this beautiful International Student Handbook that we have with a lovely cover. Those of you who will be needing student visas, the paperwork for that has been sent to you, and you'll be getting a copy of this handbook along with it. If you don't need a student visa, which basically means if you have Japanese citizenship, we're not sending you those sorts of things, so you can pick up a copy of this in September when you get here. All of you can also get the PDF of this online. Let's see. So anything else? I think that those covers sort of the main sources. The online material, including this book and working directly with the office, are your best resources for getting everything done. And so now we've got everything sort of decided. We know you're coming here. Everything's great.
Okay, can we ask some of the students about what kind of difficulty you had before coming to Japan? Momoe or yes, but abroad, yes.
So this applies to students with Japanese citizenship. I kind of ran into an issue with proving my, I guess, nationality in Japan. So I had to go to a city hall in Hiroshima to get my koseki, because that's where it was based on, and I had to get it transferred over to Fujisawa, which took some time.
Japanese, you had some kind of troubles. Yes. Any or Nuru, do you have anything you need to prepare before come to Japan?
Of course there is, but just read the handbook. Majority of options that you need to do and available is already written there. If you need further assistance, then just contact the office. They'll be happy to help you.
Let's see. By now, you've probably read the set of things that are on the list here. Those are the main bullet points covering your basic set of documents that have to be submitted and the whole process here, and just go from there with the documentation and the help from the office.
And for the admission registration, actually there are stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 is the deadline is coming very soon. I hope you all to register for the stage 1 and hopefully for the stage 2. And we had a lot of questions about PSR. PSR is stands for the personal study and research, and you may be wondering what to write in the PSR. Let me ask the students about what they have written. Yes, Momoe?
I'm sure a lot of you guys are stressed about it, but there's really no reason to stress about it. I think a lot of you guys think that your paper is going to be evaluated by the faculty, but it's more for you to find the direction of what you want to study. So what I did was I just listed out everything that I was interested in, and in the paper I just said that throughout the years that I'm at SFC, I want to kind of solidify what I wanted to study.
Brad, what have you done?
I kind of had an interest and I already had an idea what I wanted to do at SFC, so I wrote a very general idea or interest in the area of cybersecurity. And as Momoe said, you don't really need to stress about it. It isn't really, once you wrote it, you have to go through it type of thing. So it could change over time. And for me, I am still kind of interested in that area, but I guess you could say I have more of a focus now.
Okay, Nulu, your case?
I did education and technology, but now I do completely different, so don't worry about it too much.
Okay, anyway, yeah, you prepare for the personal study and research at this time, so we'll check whatever you have written, and you can change it as the student said. You can change later on after you come to Japan or Keio. Now about the art SFC session. Yes, this is a beautiful. I would like to show you. This is beautiful kind of drone picture taken recently about cherry blossom. We had a lot of cherry blossom trees here. And this is the shibafu, the room. Yes, a lot of people sleep there. Probably no eat lunch, having lunch. Yes.
This video was taken by Professor Keiji Takeda. He and his students actually do work on drones, and they actually build their own drones, as well as actually exploring both their impact on business as well as society, how they can be used for a variety of purposes.
Sometimes actually we can see the Mount Fuji, but this picture it doesn't show you the Mount Fuji, but yes, the nice environment, we hope. And now about the faculty of SFC. As you know, we have two faculties, Faculty of Policy Management and the Faculty of Environment Influence Studies. And we have written to explain to you easily for the 5 areas in the Environment Influence Studies and 5 areas in Policy Management. But actually, after you come to our university, our SSC, you may find there is no kind of distinction between the faculties or even those the departments or whatever. We don't have any majors actually. So you may enter, even if you may enter the policy management, some may study the bioscience or computer science and may become to another computer engineer sometimes. So the kind of borderless. Actually, today's society is very complicated. So actually, we think you may study the both areas, bioscience as well as policy design to think about the future or something like that. So that kind of thing is very important, I think.
I think it's reasonable to say that there's a little bit of difference between the faculty, meaning the professors, the professors who are part of the Faculty of Environment and Information Studies are a little different from the professors who are in the Faculty of Policy Management. But for the students, from their point of view, you can study any of these things you want. And I mentioned I'm in quantum computing. A number of my best students have, in fact, come from the Faculty of Policy Management.
And how about the philosophy of the SFC about multimodal learning things?
So here at our campus, we talk about how the philosophy that we try to instill in the students is what we call mondai hakken, mondai kaiketsu. So mondai is problem, so mondai hakken is problem discovery, and mondai kaiketsu is problem solving. Students are expected to find a problem that they themselves are interested in and commit to solving the problem. So that means you're going to need to acquire both the knowledge and the ability to manage yourself, including your time and your own ability to do things. You're going to need to acquire resources, and you're going to have to actually communicate with the faculty and the other students about what it is you're doing. All of this finds its expression in what we call the Kenkyukai, or the seminar. So you see written right here in the middle, research seminars is one of the big components of our overall education system. It's really the core thing and the thing that makes our entire system unique. Part of how this actually finds its expression and finds the way that it affects the students is through what we call multimodal learning, which I'll go into in just a moment. And you see there beneath that, we have written what's called ORF, which is our Open Research Forum, and internships and fieldwork. And that leads us to, if you'll go to the next slide for me, multimodal learning. So in high school, you probably did most of your learning in class. You're between class and homework for it. And so you have sort of this fairly fixed idea of the formal approach to learning. Here at our campus, of course, you take classes and you do a lot of learning through those classes, but we also believe very strongly that you must commit to lifetime learning or lifelong learning, and that there are many different ways in which you can learn. So for example, in the upper left there, internships, there are a couple of our students who are actually in that picture from the first group of students who went to a company called Cisco, which is one of the most important companies in the internet industry. In the middle and the top, for example, is I'm in that picture, and I think one or two of my students are actually in that picture. It's a summer camp that we did down in Okinawa about 10 years ago now for learning quantum computing. And so that happened outside of sort of the regular flow of classroom. But because the students had a relationship with me, I took them to that particular camp. In the upper right, you see one of our students is actually part of the floor team that designs and builds the actual network used by a trade show called Interop, which is one of the largest internet equipment trade shows in the world. And it's a huge learning experience, and it's a commitment of full-time for several weeks in the month of June. So it's an incredible opportunity to work with some of the leading people in academia and industry, and to learn how things are actually used in the real world. And in the lower left is actually an example from fieldwork. This is one of our students working with, I believe, a teacher and some students in Congo. Is this this picture's from the Congo, I think? Is that right?
Oh, yes.
I think so. That's probably from Professor Hasebe's group, I'm pretty sure. So that gives you sort of an idea of the range of different ways in which you can learn. And all of this is part of your learning experience here at SFC.
Now let's see about your first semester, so that it's easy for you to may see what kind of thing is coming. Chi-sensei, can you explain a little bit about it?
Okay, so I assume that you all will be coming to Keio, especially to our campus. So let me give you a sort of a brief outline of what you will be doing after you enter Keio. So you will enter in September, and after you arrive, around like the third week of September, you will have like orientation section. And then after that, the class will start, and then you will take the classes and see, what it's like. And after that, you can decide which classes to take. In October and November, you will have a lot of extracurricular activities in addition to class schedule. In October, you can choose the kind of circle that you want to join based on your hobbies. And also, we have one sort of like a cultural activity, which is the Fall Festival. And this is the activity organized by the students. And one more important event in October, which you should not miss, is the Waseda Keio baseball games. And this is a very important event. It's not just a cultural, traditional, but historical event, which date back as early as 1900. In November, at the end of November, you will have like a 1 week break that is a Mita festival. Mita is the main campus at Keio in Tokyo. And our campus will make use of this holiday to organize one important event called ORF, Open Research Forum, where the labs will have the introduce their research products to the public. And in December and January, you will get back to the class schedule. You will prepare for the final exams. And after the winter holidays, you will have the finals exam. And then will be followed by the spring break. Okay. Why don't we just hear the students and ask them what it was like for them about during the first semester. Probably a lot of you have a lot of anxieties about, the language and about the new environments. So let's start with Ruru. What was it like for you?
Of course, I was nervous because especially I cannot speak Japanese at all. But then I discovered that help's always available for you anywhere from everyone. So then you don't need to worry about it. And I've only started learning Japanese while I'm enrolling in SFC, so first semester. And yeah, I survived, so it's fine.
Let me interrupt and go back to what I was talking about earlier, the multimodal learning. So you're what? You're a third year student now,
I'm
right?
second year.
Oh, so you're a second
Right.
year student. So besides the actual work in classrooms, what modes of learning, what other types of things have you done besides just taking classes?
I just did fieldwork in February in Vietnam with Chi Sensei. And we stayed there for 5 days. And I think it helped me a lot because first, what you learn in class is different to what you actually see. So you can kind of see it's coming to life. And also that when you go back to this new semester, I can use what I've learned in the fieldwork as an example in my class, which is very, very helpful. So yeah.
Good, thanks.
We continue with. All right. Compared with Lulu's, Bradley and Momo probably has one more advantage. They are Japanese, so they're familiar with the language. But other than that, how was it for you during the first semester? How about Momo?
For me, for the first semester, I just had a good time bonding with all the GIGA students. The GIGA students are really close here, so we would always gather at someone's house and have a party or have dinner together. And it was also my first semester that I joined my first circle. I joined a dance circle, and that was a really good way for me to join, kind of because I was close in the GIGA group. So after I joined the circle, I had a chance to interact with a lot of the Japanese students who entered in the spring semester. So I think once you come, it's a really good idea to join a circle.
So circle, by the way, is the Japanese term for student club, right? So not used everywhere in the world, I don't think. But you'll hear that term once you get here all the time.
Maybe we go to the curriculum structure. Our curriculum is very simple. In a way, the courses are divided into just only advanced subjects and fundamental subjects, and no grade boundary. So you can choose whatever subjects you want, even if in the first years you can take subjects. May I ask Brad, how you choose the first kind of the courses when you come to Keio?
For courses, well, I just looked at the course registration, looked at some of the classes, and whatever that looks interesting, I just took it. So for students, yeah, just whatever that looks interesting, just go wild, just take whatever you want.
So some of the classes are sort of fixed for first year students, right? You have, or first semester students, everybody has to take the fundamentals of information technology, which is a sort of a computer science class. You know, some other universities you would go to, you would have a basic science class that you have to take, which you might fulfill with physics or chemistry or biology or something. At our campus, that basic science is computer science. Everyone takes that, and regardless if you're going to be an economist or a television personality or a biologist or whatever. And then also, presumably, you had a data science class and language and what else? So physical education is also one of the first things, right? So about half of your classes for the first semester are sort of fixed, but then the other half are sort of
Just free,
open. I think that's free. So how did you deal with figuring out which ones were at an appropriate level and whether or not there were prerequisites you ought to be taking first?
I just looked at the websites in which the classes that I was looking at, and they would tell you if there are some classes you should take or there's some knowledge that you should have beforehand. So kind of based off of that, I just took classes that still interested me but also helped me, that would also pursue that future class that I'm interested in, that I want to take in. Yeah.
So the SFC system mostly does not have strongly enforced prerequisite classes for many of the classes. So you do have to take a little bit of an active attitude toward figuring out whether or not you have the background to it. Part of the reason for doing this is that our students come in with many different kinds of backgrounds, and some of them are already prepared for advanced topics in one area but not in another, and so we want to leave the students that flexibility, but it does mean you have to be sort of paying attention to whether or not you're at the right level for a particular class as things get started.
And some of them actually, currently about 25% courses are offered in English, so you have great chance, even if you don't know about the Japanese, you can take the courses. And after learning Japanese, you have more choices to choose from. And now about wide range of advanced researches, we have many areas. So we have something. So as you have seen, the course structure, the seminar is in the middle, and we have about 60 seminars available for non-Japanese speaking and students, and we'll show you some of them. We call Kenkyukai as in Japanese, and this is the Professor Kokuryo's Kenkyukai. He's somehow focusing on creating and managing new businesses. Actually, a lot of internship students are joining this seminar and talks about their starting a new business or using the technology to start up or something like that. Let's see the next one about Shimpo Sensei. Can you explain the Badminton Sensei? Yeah.
So Shimpo Sensei is one of our most important professors in a variety of different ways, but part of what makes him unique is that he's a lawyer, but his interest is in how technology is affecting society. So in particular, so it says up there, cyber law. How does the internet affect privacy, for example? So he sits on 140 different committees around the country on evaluating privacy for different companies and different government organizations and whatnot. And also, for example, how do robots affect legal structures? You know, what happens if a robot's out in public and somebody damages the robot or the robot does some damage? And you can see there in the middle a picture of him in his Kenkyukai. So his students are working on areas like this.
Professor Jimbo's Kenkyukai, the Chi Sensei, can you explain this?
Hirose.
Hirose, sorry.
Hi. Oh, no, I am from Faculty of Policy Management, so let me introduce you a couple of seminars from this faculty. First, starting with Professor Hirose. She's the expert or professor in international politics, and she's expertise is in the former USSR and Eastern Europe countries. And she's actually a very prolific writer, and her seminar, but her interest is not only limited to Russia and Eastern Europe, but to the regional studies. So at her seminar, you will study about the dialogue and the fusion between academic disciplines and the regional studies. So can you move to the next slide? Okay, and the next one, very similar to Professor Hirose, is Professor Jimbo, and he's a very prominent figure in the area of international relations. And he's the key advisor to different government commissions or the research groups. Like he's the advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Ministries of Defense in Japan. So at his Kenkyukai seminar, his focus is on their international security and their conflicts. So if you decide to go to his seminar, you will be encouraged to develop the case study in conflicts across the world, like Africa, Middle East, or Korea Peninsula. Okay, so this is my seminar. So my seminar focus on the risk and human security. So you can see a couple of keywords here for the seminar. And a little bit different from the two colleagues of mine, I approached the policy issues from ground level. So what that means is that we come in close contact with the people who are facing the problem. So what we do is that we do not only the thinking and do things in the seminar, the laboratory, but also in the field. So once or twice or could be 3 times a year, we do field work. I take the student to the field and to do the research. So the field usually in Vietnam, Indonesia, and in Japan, and also in Laos. So think about it.
So let me tell you a little bit about some of the professors from the Faculty of Environment and Information Studies. And again, remember, this is only a couple of examples out of the nearly 100 different kinds of areas that you can work on here inside SFC. As we've already mentioned, this Kenkyukai is really the unique part of our education system, and it's one of the real driving reasons for being here. I tell incoming students that they should expect that by the time they graduate, that about 25% of their numerical units toward graduation will come out of the Kenkyukai and the graduation project, but about half of their learning will take place in the Kenkyukai, and about 90% of your growing up will take place inside of the Kenkyukai. So it's really a core to what we're doing. That's the philosophy. When I have to explain what it is that we do to people, I like to say that in sort of the really abbreviated form, we're applying technology to solving society's problems. Now, there's some people who are sort of more on the pure policy-oriented side, and there's some people who are more on the pure technical side. But Professor Fuji is really sort of an example of somebody who's sort of dead center in the middle of what we're doing. You can see a picture of him there on the left. That's actually him drumming. I've heard him play. He's really a fantastic drummer. But his research interest is in neuroscience and how the brain creates and responds to rhythm. For example, one of the things that he and his group are doing is they're actually measuring the propagation of neural impulses down your arm as you are drumming. So if you're swinging a drumstick, how does the control of that actually work inside your neural system for this? And it's really a fascinating topic. Let's go on to the next one. Here's another area where technology and society come together, and this time sort of in the sense of art. So Professor Hiroya Tanaka leads one of the most prominent fab labs on the planet, and it was the first fab lab here in Japan. So what's a fab lab? People who are in the fab lab movement are part of what we call the term that we use here. We use terms such as personal fabrication and social fabrication. People who are actually making things for their own use and for solving particular problems. You might have some tool you need to make or some device you want to make, or maybe you're just doing it for art in particular. And he and his group are not only working on how you can use 3D printers and cutters and computer-controlled machines and whatnot, they're actually designing and building some of their own devices. So some of you have probably used a 3D printer in your high school. You may even have one at home. And we had a student come and join us several years ago, and she had built her own home-based 3D printer. So you've probably printed or seen things maybe that are this size, right? Or something like these, for example. This was actually a mathematical function that was actually created the year that one of the students did this, the year that Bradley actually took my optimization theory class a couple years ago, and some of the students worked with 3D printers. This represents a mathematical function, and it allows, for example, a blind student to feel what's happening with the behavior of a particular mathematical function. And I mentioned those come out of devices that you could get commercially, but this, printing something this, and one of Hiria's 3D experts, and this actually represents the crystalline structure of silicon, which is important for our research area in quantum computing, and we use it for various kinds of exhibitions. So you can design and build 3D printers that work like this, and we've got a picture I'll show you later of something that's even more impressive. All right, let's go on. Next slide, please. This is actually my Kenkyukai. So as I mentioned, I work in quantum computing. You can see in the upper right there a little tiny version of this same thing being actually 3D printed in this. And my background is in computer systems. I'm not a physicist, I'm not a mathematician, I'm not a computer science theorist. So we're trying to figure out how to implement real-world quantum computing algorithms and apply quantum computers that actually solve problems for that people care about. And members of my group are part of what's called the Keio Quantum Computing Center, and they're working with researchers from around the country, from major Japanese companies, and we're trying to we're actually using IBM's leading quantum computer, and we're trying to figure out how to actually solve real-world problems on that. Next slide, please. Hagino-sensei.
Yes, my Kenkyukai. I don't have any nice pictures, unfortunately. I'm doing yes, programming language or system software or web technology areas. So the software, I can't visualize it well. So actually, I have two Kenkyukai. One is for study, and another one is a group work. Study one, actually, since we study various areas, so we sometimes want to focus more. So for example, deep learning, those areas, or natural language, how to process those areas. The one Kenkyukai is somehow studying those areas. Students read the book and explain to us. And another one is group work. I let students to make whatever group they want, as long as they use some kind of software to solve some kind of problems. Last semester, we had the one group doing the educational programming. I mean, we are teaching a lot of students in the class for the one teacher with the 40 students teaching the programming language, and they have a lot of troubles. Some may have stuck with some kind of problem. So they create a tool to find out who is stuck in a certain area and so on. In the future, we would like to actually use it in a real class. Another one was using a deep learning to distinguish a sake label. Sake is a Japanese drink. So from the sake label to explain about what kind of sake this is or something like that. Those areas, actually, I let students to do whatever they want to do. That's the software areas. Now yes, each of you, yes. Can you talk your research, the Momoe, yes?
Yeah, sure. I'm part of a Kenkyukai called Isagai Kenkyukai. We do regional planning and urban planning. And our Kenkyukai is really action-based and fieldwork-based. So we go to different areas in Japan and we talk about with the locals and work to figure out how to revitalize those regions. I was previously part of a project in Saga Prefecture, which is in southern Japan, and we held a lot of events to revitalize that region. And currently, I'm more interested in family businesses and traditional crafts as well.
Brother, how about you?
I am in a Kenkyukai called Takeda-ken. So in Takeda-ken, there are 5 groups. One is AI, another is VR, AR, cybersecurity, web, and drone. I'm in cybersecurity, the group for cybersecurity. And then cybersecurity, well, in that group, you kind of learn about various general topics on what's going on within that area currently. And in each semester, you get to kind of choose your own little project that you want to tackle. Well, it's kind of fun. He kind of lets you do whatever you want that you're interested. First, you just have to present, and if he approves, well, then you could do whatever you want.
Nuru, you are in the Chi-sensei's Kenkyukai.
Yes, I'm on the Chi-sensei's Kenkyukai, and as you already explained about the Kenkyukai, but my personal research is on public welfare, especially how to measure it.
So for all 3 of you, does your Kenkyukai meet every week? So you meet with the professor every week.
Yes.
For how many hours a week are you in sort of group meetings for the Kinkyukai and for you actually meeting with the professor?
For the structure for my Kinkyukai, it takes up 2 periods, so 2 slots, and so in total is 3 hours. So for the first period, we kind of have like a overall group meeting in which the professor also talks to you, but also each group, depending on the week, each group will kind of present what the general area is about. And then from there, we kind of split off in the second period to do our own thing.
Well, how does the Isegai-ken work?
For Isekai-ken, we also have 2 periods, but we also do like a meeting afterwards. For me, it always lasts until like 10 p.m. So I'm quite, I'm at school for a really long time. Also, we do like field work on Saturdays and Sundays, and we also use breaks. Like when I went to Saga, I used my summer vacation to go to Saga for like 5 days to work on the event, etc.
So it's really sort of a year-round kind of commitment for a lot of the Kinkyukai, and there's a lot of work that goes on, again, that happens outside of the formal classroom time.
And there are a lot of the seminars. So the hundreds more, I guess we have a seminar. So there are a good chance for you to find one which fit you, I guess. Now let's see some of the ORF that you mentioned, Bamita Sensei. Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier when we were talking about multimodal learning and things like that, this thing called ORF. That's our Open Research Forum. It's an exhibition for the public, which we hold in late November every year. And for many of the Kinkyukai, for many of the groups, it's the single biggest event on the annual calendar. And so they begin preparing for it right after the prior year's ORF and work toward next year's ORF, designing and creating something often. So this may be a large physical device of some sort that they've designed and built. It may be a poster-based presentation for what the students are working on if they're more theoretical. But particularly for a lot of the design-oriented groups, the faculty members who are working on architecture, as in building architecture and things like that, it's a great opportunity to exhibit models of what they're building. And for the faculty members who are working in international relations, they often bring in visitors from outside, and it's an opportunity to show them what we're doing. We get thousands of visitors who come through this every year, and it's a chance for us to connect and interact with the general public and with prospective students, high school students, with the family of current students, and also for our alumni. So it's a great opportunity. I really, really strongly encourage you in your first semester to come to ORF, because every one of the Kinkyukai has an exhibit, and it's a chance for you to go around and in a very concentrated fashion discover things that you didn't even know were going on campus, and there's a really good chance you're going to find some Kinkyukai you're actually interested in being involved in.
Let's now see about the unique facilities at SFC. And Bamita Sensei, you have a lot of fun about fabrication space. And can you explain this? There's a huge kind of construction.
Yeah, the fabrication space. We have multiple fabrication spaces here on campus for digital printers and for woodworking and whatnot. And those are not just having hand tools available, but they're generally computer-controlled devices. And so you can design things and download those designs to the devices, and they'll cut or print whatever they're doing for you. That picture there on the left just looks like a construction project going on, right? Well, that's actually a 3D printer being built. So I showed you this thing. The thing that built this was the size of a refrigerator, give or take, a full-sized 2-meter tall refrigerator. That's a 3D printer that's being designed and built there on our campus right now by Professor Hiroya Tanaka's group, and it's going to be able to print really large things. I'm really looking forward to see it operating. And again, the students are actually doing the work on this. So the student-built campus is the other big area of our effort here on campus, where the students get to be very actively involved. I've mentioned once already that we have architecture faculty here. Well, one of our architectural faculty was actually a young architect in the office of the architectural firm that designed our campus 30 years ago. He and other members of the architecture faculty here on campus are designing and building the next extensions to our campus. And you can see in the upper left a picture of a couple of the buildings. And those buildings were designed and in part built by students. Of course, the professional construction workers did much of the work, but the students were actually involved in the process of building it as well. And you can see from a couple of the other pictures that the students get to use these facilities. You can apply for available time on this and set up a meeting, or you want your Kenkyukai to have an overnight, what we call the gashku, an event where you stay overnight and work or just have fun and play games or whatever overnight. All of that's part of what we're designing and building with the student-built campus, and it's an opportunity for students in architecture to go all the way from the original conception to the actual construction of the building, which is a rare hands-on opportunity in today's world.
Has any of the students ever used the SBC or? Unfortunately not.
My students and I have. We love it. We've used it several times.
Okay, about the SSC Innovation Village. Have you ever heard of an Innovation Village? Any of you? Yes, Momoe?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't used it, but it's a really great place for entrepreneurs who want to start their own business, because they really help with the fundamentals of how to start your own business. So if you're really looking into something like that, I think this is a place that you should go.
Yes, actually, even the students may enter to this SBCIV and talk with the professionals and help about some financing and so on, I guess.
The kinds of things they support range from very high-end technical businesses where people are working on new chemical products or new computer products, all the way to I know one student who actually wanted to create a kitchen car, a taco truck, a mobile food service device, and the people there at the Innovation Village helped him, mentored him in terms of the business licensing and managing his money and all those sorts of things. So any range of business you can be involved in an Innovation Village.
And about the study abroad programs.
Keio has relations with more than 100 universities around the world. Here on the screen, you can see just some of those. And for these are exchange programs that we're talking about right now, where students go abroad and they spend either a year or either one semester or a full year abroad in another university, take classes in that university, and then come back. When you come back, your work at that other university is evaluated and you're given credit appropriate for doing that. I really strongly encourage students to do this, to take a year and go abroad. We send several hundred students a year abroad to this across all of Keio. Besides these formal semester-long or year-long things that line up, or we do our best to make them line up with our existing academic calendar, there are also short-term programs in spring and summer, particularly for language or for something something sort of specifically cultural.
And we have a lot of international supports, the financial aid or all-around assistance supported by organization students, dormitories, and job hunting. And let's see some of them about the Keio scholarships. The Keio is as a private university in Japan, the one with the largest scholarship funds, 24 billion yen, or 240 million US dollars, and so on. And 110 different kinds of scholarships, 3,000 students actually receiving those Keio scholarships. Or we have the scholarships organization, Keio itself, or Japanese government, or Alumni network, or private foundation. There are a lot of chance for you to get the scholarship after you come to Keio University. And about all-around assistance, we have a specific staff, the Ogano-san. And if you have any problems, there's a corner at the admission office. They're saying we can speak English. So you can just ring the bell, then she will come to help you. So she's creating a newsletters or SSC International Student Handbook. You have seen this, or you already received this beautiful PDF and so on. And any kind of questions you can ask. Okay, and dormitories and private houses. We have a lot of dormitories. Actually, we are a little bit away from the Shonandai. Shonandai station is the nearest to us, about maybe the 15 minutes by bus or 20 minutes by bicycles. And the dormitory around the Shonandai, or dormitory in between SSC and Shonandai, there are a lot of things. And maybe we'll ask you, the students, of where they are living. Nuru, we'll start you.
I live in
where are you living?
a private apartment.
Near where?
It's in the middle of Shonanda in campus. So
Is it convenient for you?
yeah, because I can just use my bike to
Yeah,
travel.
yeah, bicycle.
Yes.
Yes. And how about food or how you get your things?
Because I live in a private apartment, then I need to do everything by myself. But then I know some people who live in dorms that for them is very convenient too, because they don't need to cook
Mm-hmm.
and everything is already prepared for them. So it depends on what kind of things that you want to do.
How did you find the apartment?
How I use the handbook. It's important, guys. They list all kind of materials there. So yeah, that's how I find my apartment.
You asked your some kind of the land, the estate agency or.
Yeah, there's an English-speaking state agency that's listed in the handbook. So
you contacted.
yeah, so I contacted them and it was perfect. So yeah.
How about Brad? Where do you live now?
I live at Fujisao Homachi, which is 3 stations away from Shonandai. I live in a private apartment. For me, it's very convenient around the area. I kind of happen to live in an area where I'm really close to a grocery store or drugstore. So, yeah, getting groceries isn't that hard. It's just on my way to my house. And living by yourself, yes, you kind of have to do everything by yourself, but you could say that it's kind of like your first step into becoming an adult. So, since if you cook for yourself, you kind of polish yourself. So, yeah, you could also improve to cook for your lovers. So.
And we have now the new private dormitories open near SFC. Actually, we have some rooms reserved for you. The Dormi Shonan Fujita 1 or Node Growth or Dormi Shonan Fujita 2. So there's some kind of registration going on, I guess, for students to, if you are interested into getting into some of the dormitories, you can register us. We'll select some of you to get into those dormitories. But if you missed, then still there are a lot of chances to get the dormitories. And the student support organizations, we have Keio Fujin Mitakai, Tokyo Mita Club, Cosmic, or AIS. Have you any of them heard about any of the organizations or Momoe?
I'm part of AIS, which is Association for International Students, and we have 2 main goals. And the first one is to support GIGA students and international students at SFC. So we hold various events for you guys. And another one is for international students and the Japanese students at SFC, for them to become closer. So we also hold food events for that as well. So we also have a Facebook page called Association for International Students. So if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can always just message us and we'll answer immediately.
And we have the Global Alumni Network. So 370,000 alumni are actively in all areas of society, or all over the world. 70 overseas Mitakai, or every city, major city has a Mitakai, or every major company has a Mitakai, and so on. So you have whenever you have any problems, you can talk with the Mitakai people. And yes, Brad, can you talk about you have anything?
Oh
about
yeah,
Mitakai?
I was fortunate enough to be a part of LA Mitakai, so Los Angeles Mitakai. Through there, I got to know many Keio graduates and be a part of the Keio community, and that also kind of add on to the reason why I wanted to apply to Keio. So if you're a GIGA, you kind of tend to stick around the SFC area. So if you're to join the Global Alumni Network, you get to know many other graduates that's not only from SFC, but also from other campuses.
Thank you. Any kind of extracurricular activities or part-time jobs?
Well, as I told you before, I am Vietnamese and I came to Keio 13 years ago. So my impression about Japanese students and students in Japan is they are very busy. Not just with the school work, but somehow they are very busy with a part-time job, what we call baito, or internships, or many other social commitments. So usually you think it's difficult to get an appointment with the professors, right? But it's also very difficult to get the appointment with the students. So let me ask the students. So what they do design the school work, and how do they find these opportunities with or without their command of Japanese. So let me start with Bradley. Do you do any sort of
I'm also part of AIS,
Okay.
so I kind of help organize some of the events that they hold. Also, I did a part-time work when I first came to Japan, but I kind of got a help from a past Giga senpai.
So what did you
I
do?
just got lucky. I worked at a after-school English daycare center called J Prep Kids, and they help kids. It's kind of like an English environment for elementary schoolers. Yeah.
So how about, well, Dudu, are you doing any part-time job or anything else?
Yeah, with my level of Japanese, I thought I wouldn't be able to find any part-time job, but then I actually could. It's to do something to do with English too. So yeah, I'm busy with that too.
Okay. How about Mume?
I don't know if you guys know Muji, but I loved Muji, so I started working at Muji when I was in first grade. Yeah, and I've been working there for over 2 years now. And it was really hard for me at first because although I could speak Japanese, once you start working, you really have to know how to use Keigo, which is like formal Japanese, and there's so many rules that it's really difficult. But it was a really great chance for me to really understand Japanese society, and I'm really glad that I started.
Okay, thank you very much. That's about the at SSC session. It took a longer than we expected. And now about the before and after graduation. There are supports, the center here, career support events and support with application process and so on. We have the lot of supports. We hope just after studying Keio University and not going back to your own country, but hope you to get a job in Japan and some experience, or know Japan more, or maybe stay forever, or whatever. It's fine. And recently, that happened. Yeah, we hope so. Yes. And we have recently we had something job event. You can see the right hand side. The organizer Mita Club, Tokyo Mita Club. It's a nice time for the not only our SSC students but the Mita campus students, the Power students are gathered together to listen to our alumni of talking about the job hunting is. Now the internship. Can any of you talk about the internship or?
For
Yeah,
me,
yes,
a
Momoe.
lot of people do long-term internships, but I chose to do short-term internships in Japan during the breaks like spring break, summer break, winter break. There's a lot of opportunities for you to try out internships, but it's only like 1 day to 3 days, so it's just you take a dip into it, so it's not too serious. But some of my friends are also doing like long-term internship. My friend Bibi is really interested in international relations, so she was working at the embassy of Afghanistan, and now she's working in the embassy of Czech Republic. So, yeah.
So we'll announce the internship on the board at the our main building, or maybe information sent to you by the email. So there are a lot of chance for you to get into the internship, I guess. And the next about what do Keio and SSC graduates are doing, and this is some of the prominent Keio graduates in the business areas, Shiseido, Kirin, or Seiko. Those maybe the companies may be known in the world. Yeah, Toyota Car Company, ANA, those airline companies, and so on. Those are the all Keio graduates. How about the SSC graduates? Amita Sensei, can you explain?
Keio is famous throughout Japan, for its graduates who go into business, particularly from all of the Keio business and economics related schools. From our campus, many of our students do go into those kinds of areas, but many of them also go into non-traditional areas, companies that are younger than your parents, right? So many Japanese parents want their kids to go into a company that's hundreds of years old, has that level of stability. There are many younger companies in Japan that are doing really exciting work, and a lot of our graduates from SFC actually go into those particular places. Some of our students, for example, go into Google or into Yahoo Japan. Many of the technical staff from Japan's ISPs, the internet service providers, are graduates from Keio, or particular from the Shonan Fujisawa campus, and their connections into both their traditional parts of the economy and the newer parts of the economy from here.
And some of them are going to the graduate schools.
Yes, so of the students from SFC who go to graduate school, there are graduates who go to many different places. This shows you where some of the graduates from Keio as a whole, not just from our campus, have gone. Just within recent years, we've sent students to Berkeley and Duke and Harvard and Stanford and Caltech and Princeton and places like that, from across all of the Keio campuses. And then I think if we go to the next slide, let's see. So about 10% of the SFC students go on to a graduate school. I think we have a separate. Oh no, we do not. Sorry, go back. All right. So the students from our campus, you see, Columbia, the University of Tokyo, Stanford, the University of California at San Diego, MIT. The Technical University of Darmstadt, one of our recent graduates is there. She's doing a master's degree in computer science in Germany. So those are places where students from our campus have gone just within the last few years.
This is the statistic about what they are doing for our GIGA graduates, I think. Yes, about 60% are going to the graduate schools, and 66% are working, and 85. I don't know what this is the number. 85% is in Japan. 8% is overseas or home countries or others looking job and so on. And can I ask you about your career path? What you're thinking, Brad?
For me, I'm planning to just work in Japan for a few years, 35 years. Right now, that's my general idea. And after that, well, if I like, so far I like Japan, so that's why I want to work. But if I decide that I want to live here, then I could just stay here, or I could just go to the graduation program overseas.
Japanese big company or small company, startups, whatever. What you are thinking? Yeah.
I would like to get into a gaishike, so like a company,
International business.
International business company.
Nuru, what you are thinking about now?
As I'm part of the integrated program, so of course the next step for me is to go to the grad school in Keio in SFC2.
Integrated program means you you want to finish within 4 years for the master course as well. Wow, very hard. After the graduate school, what you are thinking about?
Graduate school.
After the graduation.
I think, well, like my biggest dream is to work for the UN. So I'd like to pursue that, I guess. So yes.
Momoya, what are you thinking now?
I want to work in Japan, but I'm looking at both Japanese and international companies. So yeah.
Okay. Also, we are coming the Tokyo Olympic Games to 2020. Actually, Keio is hosting British Olympic teams. Is there someone you are not volunteering?
I've applied for it. So, but because the process is long, we kind of need to wait for the announcement and everything. But hopefully I'll get in. So
I know that one of our current students has actually been heavily involved in the digital marketing for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
Really?
Yes, one of our GIGA students. She's been directly part of the committee that's doing that. The official formal committee.
Okay, since we are coming to the end soon, so now goes to the Q&A we received from you. We have the question about admission. First one is, can the offer from the university be deferred before enrollment by the result of my final transcripts? Can any of you can answer?
I have no idea.
No, answer is no, it won't. But it won't affect your the admission, so don't worry. You just send your result to us. And second one, how can I fill out the COE if I don't know what my date of the entry to Japan will be at?
Generally, the right answer to that, I believe, so I'm not an immigration lawyer, but the COE is the certificate of eligibility. You need to get your student visa, and generally you should set a sort of date that's a few days or even a few weeks in advance of when you actually want to arrive.
Yeah, plan the date or something.
Yeah. So that it will be valid well before you actually arrive is the right thing to do for that.
Third one, can I send my stage 2 documents by postal mail before Wednesday, July 3rd? Yes, you can. It seems you can, yeah. And the next question is about at SSC. First one, when time does the earliest possible class begin? The earliest class starts from 9:55. 9:55. 9:25, sorry. 9:25, yes. Everyone should know, yes.
You've only been here 30 years. You'd think you'd know by now.
9:25. And next question, is it possible to take some of the courses from other faculty? Have you, any of you taking the courses from the other faculties? Or?
Oh yeah, I am. So there's a lot of English classes not only in GIGA. I'm also taking classes from Hiyoshi campus right now, and they also have GIC, which is a program that offers classes in English. So I'm also taking classes from there. Yeah.
Next question is it possible to take a class which is taught in Japanese? Any of you are taking Japanese or English only? Or Nuru, how about you? You are taking only English one? Or?
I'm only taking English classes, yes.
Same here, but I know you're able to take classes in Japanese, or that's in a class that's for April entries.
Yeah, the faculty are generally pretty accommodating for the students who are Japanese learners. So as long as you're willing to work hard and keep up with the work, the faculty are generally very open to it. And in terms of the rules, it's all completely fine.
Fourth one, how do you select subjects and seminars? How do I plan the schedule for my studies?
Well, I think like for the first semester, some of the students have said, you don't need to be too choosy about it. Just look for any titles that appealing to you and just take it. And then after that, you can, as long as you have some interest. So based on that, you choose the courses. And then maybe on the third year or the second year, you can, looking for the seminars that suits your interests.
Also for seminars, you're able to join a seminar in your second semester of your first year. So I do recommend joining any seminars that piques your interest, and just go there for a semester. If it didn't really work out, then you're able to switch out to another seminar. So it's not really an issue in that aspect.
Next one is good for your blood. Again, I want to pursue cybersecurity as my prospective career choice. How specific are the curriculums in the university directly related to this area of the studies?
Oh, okay. So cybersecurity. So for my Kenkyukai, which is Takeda-ken, for that seminar, there is a class that Takeda Sensei offers in fall semesters. So when you guys join, that class is available. I do recommend taking that security class, which goes through the very general attacks and defense of security and cybercrime. And yeah, that, and also just take as many programming languages as you can, since that could be applied to anything.
There are also classes here on the legal and social implications of this, as well as the technical classes, and also Kinkyukai on that as well. So Shimpo Sensei, who we mentioned, as well as Takeda Sensei and others, work in this area.
Next question is about, is there a certain level of Japanese I have to understand before graduating? Actually, there is no, but we recommend you to take the Japanese classes if you are foreigners, not good at Japanese, and we'll teach you up to N2 levels Japanese. And the next one is, are we allowed to join the Taikukai? Sure, yes. Actually, GIGA students join Taikukai. Taikukai is a serious one, offered in the Hiyoshi campus mainly, but serious athletic teams. Yes, you will join. And next set of questions about housing. Should I apply for a dormitory room as soon as possible? Yes, please. Again, yes, as soon as better, I guess. Second one, does the dormitory get full quickly?
Yes, we do. We have rooms set aside or allocated for GIGA students, specifically in those dorms that Hagino Sensei mentioned earlier. Generally, we have found in the last couple of years that the number of students who want those rooms is more than the number that's available. So we'll do our best to accommodate you, but there's a good chance you'll have to find other housing.
Yes.
But the office will help you with that as well.
Yes. The third question: are intern students guaranteed housing in the dormitory listed? Actually, not. But we'll try to, as hard as possible, to allocate you the dormitory. So please contact us soon. And can I move? Fourth one is: can I move into the dorms before orientation? Yes, you can. Yeah. You should. Yes. At least the first of the week of September, we recommend you to come to Japan because our semester starts from the 22nd of September. But 1 week before, we have some kind of the entrance ceremony or guidance and so on. So please come earlier. And those are the other questions. First one: are there students who are going to SSC every day from Tokyo? Yes.
Their SFC is well outside of Tokyo, and there are students who commute from on the far side of Tokyo. There are some who commute more than 2 hours each way every day. I don't recommend that if you can avoid it. And the students who do have such a long commute, some of them wind up staying overnight on campus. You're just sleeping underneath their desks in the laboratory, which once you're in a Kenkyukai, that may be sort of the local habit, but you're really much better off if you have an apartment that's sort of a reasonable commute from here.
Next one is there a way to communicate with other students who have been accepted this year?
I believe so. I think Corey's setting up a Facebook page. So you guys join that, and then you guys could communicate. Oh, also in the comments.
Third one: can I bring my medical prescriptions with me? Yes, sure. It's better to bring a copy of your medical records in English as well. And the fourth one: where do I check in with the university when I arrive? Airport? We don't have anybody in the airport, or can I arrange? No, unfortunately not. It seems not. We cannot. But please come to the universities. Yes, or the nearest stations. Probably we can send some of you to the nearest stations. Will there be a university representative that meets internship students at the airport? Unfortunately not. But we'll help you. We once thought about creating a video or something from the guiding from the airport to the university. Fifth one: other than bus, are there any alternative ways to attend SSC? Of course, some of them are actually using the bicycles.
Yeah,
Well,
I take a
even you
bike
can
too.
walk.
Yeah.
Walking from Shonandai to SSC is about 40 minutes by walk. It's a good walk, actually.
20 minutes by
Or
bike.
30 minutes. 30 minutes. Yeah, for me, 40 minutes maybe. I'm an old person. And is there any kind of suggestions you have, students? Yes. Momoe.
I would say that you guys should not worry too much. Everything's going to be okay. And the support here is really strong. The Office of International Affairs are always really supportive. And you can always message us as well. So we're excited to see you here.
Brad.
I have an advice for students that's actually coming to Keio or to SFC. Make sure to do your registration because I messed up on that. Oh my God, it's a hassle to take care of that.
Coming from me, just check your there's syllabus available and what courses that's given here. So if you can check on that prior to you deciding to come here, then it would be great. So you're not gonna get disappointed because you don't know what's coming, basically. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Once again, about the important deadlines. Admission registration deadline first stage is 5 p.m. Friday, May 15th. This is Japanese time. Also, admission registration period stage 2 online is from 11 p.m. Monday, May 20 to the 5 p.m. Friday, July 16th, and so on. So please make sure about the deadlines. And thank you for participating in this session. I hope this was kind of useful for you, and we look forward to welcoming you to in person in SSC in September. Thank you. Or any words, final words from Amita Sensei or Chi
We'll
Sensei?
see you all in September. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you.
Okay.
So
thank you.
just come. Don't think too much. Save
Yeah.
the thinking after you arrive. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.